What's up, YouTube? It's Kenny again. Sitting here in Illinois, it's about 5 a.m. I dropped my load in Illinois yesterday and picked up another load at the Hershey plant here and headed back to Texas, 900 miles. So, wanted to make a video today about some changes that I've made and my thoughts on NIO, my thoughts on BNGO, my thoughts on the market in general, and some changes that I've made and things that I've done over the last day or so. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not your mama, guys. I will not be held responsible for any moves that you make in the stock market. I'm just a truck driver driving across the country researching and trading stocks, and it is what it is, all right? Hit that subscribe button for me. We've had a lot of growth, and I really appreciate all the new subscribers, and welcome to the channel, and I appreciate your support. But for you that have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, mash on it, hit the like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about the content of this video. Go back and watch some of my other videos, see if there's something there that interests you. So let's talk about it. So yesterday in particular, I made a decision, all right? I'm apprehensive about the market moving forward over the next couple of weeks, and I've also seen a lot of opportunities that I've missed over the last few trading days because I didn't have money on the sidelines, okay? So I liquidated a bunch of stuff. I sold out of a bunch of positions. I freed up close to half of my money in my Roth IRA, and I plan to actually free up some more, okay? So first, let's talk a little bit about my feelings on what's going on right now on the stock market in general. Futures look good for this morning. Futures look good for yesterday morning, and there was a whole bunch of red in my list, and this has happened several times lately. Now look, there's been rumors, a lot of news stories talking about more potential unrest, protests, if you want to call them that, armed gatherings at capitals of all 50 states. And, you know, there's a lot of talk about things that could be potentially coming very soon, all right, surrounding the inauguration, surrounding, just in general, more unrest. If we see more capitals being stormed and stuff like that happen, I feel like we could see some really negative reactions in the stock market to that, all right? You know how the stock market behaves. It reacts to news stories. It reacts to news, and when I see all of these stories coming out over the last couple of days that are all about all of this unrest that could potentially occur, it's made me a little apprehensive. That, on top of the fact that I didn't have money on the sidelines, on top of this speech that is supposed to be coming on Thursday from President-elect Biden, I want to sell out of some stuff. I want to have some cash on the sidelines looking for opportunities. I like to buy on red days, and I feel like there's a potential that we may see some big red days coming. And so I want to position myself to be able to take advantage of that. And I know a lot of other people have done similar things, are trying to get as much cash on the sidelines as they can to look for opportunities over the coming month. So what did I do? I've sold half of my position in Norwegian. I was in the red on that, but I'm in the green overall because of previous trades in that stock. I sold about half of that position for technically a little bit of a loss, a pretty good sized loss actually. And I sold NNDM. I sold my position in that for about $130 profit. I sold FIII. I sold out of that for about a $200 and something profit. Sold out of CLNE for about a $30 or $40 profit, really small profit there. I've freed up so far about $4,000, like $3,976 that I've freed up, and I'm looking to just go ahead and get out of that Norwegian position. I do still feel like it would make me a lot of money in the future, but I feel like, I'm waiting on it too long. Like the money's not doing anything for me. It's just sitting there, and I feel like it could be better used in other positions. Okay, so I'm freeing up a lot of money, guys. I've freed up like almost half, close to half of my holdings in my Roth IRA as of right now. Some of those positions I would like to get back in my other portfolio. I have another portfolio. That's where I do my long-term stuff that I don't sell. And some of those positions I want to get moved over there. I want my HYLN position moved over to that other portfolio. So I'm probably going to liquidate that as well in my Roth IRA, because I like to play stuff. And, I got to be honest with you. I love HYLN long-term, okay? But over the short term, guys, good and well, I know a lot of you are HYLN investors because a lot of you subscribe to my channel off of that. Good and well, there's a lot of bag holders in HYLN. There's a lot of guys that, investors that bought in at really high prices that are waiting. And you see how the stock acts. Every time it gets a little bump, a bunch of people sell off. Every time it gets a big bump, a bunch of people sell off. It's because you got a lot of bag holders in it. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity yet to get in at lower prices, and then later on in the year to next year is where we're going to see the ability to really profit off of that stock. And in my Roth IRA, I don't like to hold things long term. I like to do short plays, even though I've got a lot more money in there to invest. That's where I like to make my plays because they're tax free. I can buy and sell in there and it's tax free. In my other account, I don't sell things. So that's where I really want to ultimately build my HYLN position. So I've made a deposit in there recently. I'm waiting for the opportunity. I bought some CLNE over there, and I'm waiting for the right moment to buy HYLN over there. Anyway, so what else? NIO. NIO has been on a tear, guys. All right, NIO's been on a tear after NIO Day, even though like my analysis of the things that they announced, I don't think they were that spectacular. If you watch one of Meet Kevin's videos, my thoughts on it are similar to him. I don't think that anything like earth-shattering was announced on NIO Day, but the stock has been on a tear. What was it up yesterday? Let me look here. I've got my watch list open. It was up almost 7% yesterday. It's up another 1.6 right now in the pre-market. So it's on a tear, all right? But here's my thoughts on NIO, okay? Now, I've played NIO a couple of times, okay? A couple of times I made a good profit on it on short-term plays. But I'm kind of scared of Chinese companies, guys. And I'm not a racist. I don't have anything against the Chinese people. But the whole communist government, and they can pretty much do whatever the fuck they want. They can just slap a company down if they want. And, I know that they're supportive of NIO at the moment, but anything could happen, and Chinese companies kind of scare me for that reason. Plus, you have no protections. The rules are completely different over there. If something were to happen, you have no recourse. They just kind of scare me, okay? And then plus, I think that my personal money is better placed in U.S. companies right now, because I think that the Democrats being in control and Biden as the president is going to have some very good impacts on American EV companies and, the charging space, all the stuff surrounding EVs, all the stuff with clean energy and everything surrounding that. I think all that stuff is going to do really well under this administration. And so I'm trying to position myself for that. Now I like NIO. Okay, if you're not like me and you're not worried about the Chinese stocks and stuff like that, I think there's a lot of money to be made in NIO going forward, as long as the government doesn't slap them down, or something drama related with the government over there doesn't happen. I think that it's a really good investment, guys. I mean, I think that if nothing bad happens, that stock could hit 200 this year. I mean, and I know a lot of people are real conservative with their estimates and stuff. I really think, there's a lot of hype surrounding it. The growth is there and stuff. I think it could hit 200. I mean, I do. What else? Lordstown Motors was on a tear yesterday. Were they? They were up 23% yesterday, right? On a news that they have 100,000 pre-orders. Now, they're not making vehicles yet, but there's somebody that I want to get into, and that's another problem, that I didn't have any money on the sidelines, because they were at like $20 not long ago, and I was wanting to get in, but I didn't have the money to start building a position in it. And so that's one that I'm looking at that I'd like to get into. Those guys bought a huge plant that used to make, the Chevy Cruze, their electric vehicle. It was a Hummer plant. They've got a huge plant. They're ready to start kicking out vehicles. They got a lot of pre-orders, and all this legislation that's going to be coming down the pike. I can see Lordstown Motors doing really well this year, so I'd like to get in on that. I've added a bunch of stuff to my watch list, guys. All right, let's look at some of it just briefly. Let's see what I'm not going to go say everything I've added. I've got a huge watch list. Okay. Let's see. I added STPK, which is Star Peak Energy. They are perfectly positioned to take advantage of any clean energy legislation that takes place. They were up 21% yesterday, up almost 13% in the pre-market. I've added Sun Power, that's up a little bit. That's SPWR. PSAC, which is a SPAC that is just about $12 right now, so it's still low, and they're talking about merging with a startup EV company. They're only at $12, but they're up 18.8% yesterday, down another 1% in the pre-market. But yeah, so I mean, that's a potential SPAC play there. Let's see, what PACB, which I made a video about, and I want to I'll talk about something with them in a moment, but I was waiting for a pullback. Okay, they had a big run, and I was waiting for a pullback to get in. Yesterday, they pulled back almost 7%. They're up a little bit in the pre-market, but I'm still looking for a spot to start getting into that. OEG, guys, Orbital Energy Group. All right, this company, like, I see some actual long-term potential. Like, there hasn't been a shit ton of hype about this company, and yet they've been really making gains. I mean, yesterday they were up 24%, up another 6% in the pre-market, and they've been kind of going ballistic like BNGO has, but without that huge amount of hype that's surrounding BNGO. And I'm looking to make a play on OEG. That's Orbital Energy Group. Those guys have completely, more or less, transformed their company to take advantage of more large-scale solar, like solar farms and stuff like that. I believe they've gotten a couple contracts in that area, and they say that the all of the cash burning from that changeover is more or less behind them, and been making some serious gains. So I'm looking for a potential play on that. I think they're in a really good spot to take advantage of the clean energy legislation and stuff that's going to be pushed through. MSOS I added to my watch list. That is a play on the MJ space, and it specifically focuses on MSOs and companies in the United States. So if we get some MJ legislation pushed through, they could take big advantage of that. BNGO, it's on my watch list, guys, and I got a bunch of comments about it on my PACB video. Was it PACB? Yeah, on my PACB video, I got a bunch of comments about BNGO telling me that I should invest in that. And I want to just talk a little bit about that because I know that you know, it's obvious that they've been on an absolute tear, just parabolic moves day after day, okay? But here's the thing that scares me about Bio-Nano-Genomics, BNGO. It was just a week or so ago, these guys were in imminent danger of being delisted from the NASDAQ because they could not keep their share price above $1. Now, magically, we've got all this hype, and this company is like $6 a share, and, you know, it's scary to me, okay? Whenever companies are doing these parabolic moves, and whenever they're having these parabolic moves because of massive hype, you know, with articles and YouTube videos, and you've got all this hype surrounding it, and it's just going parabolic. Like, you HYLN investors in here, like, you've seen this before. Like, you know, a lot of times when you get all this massive hype and you get it go up, 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 and then it just comes back to reality. All right. And I don't know. I mean, kudos to you if you've made a ton of money on this stock. I would sell it if you have. Okay. It could just jump right back to reality. We've got a catalyst coming up on that stock to where they may or may not get FDA approval soon. And I think that if they do get that FDA approval, maybe it might be a time to buy for the longer term, you know what I mean? But if they don't get that FDA approval, this motherfucker's going back to $1. So that's just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, okay? Do what you want. But, you know, that to me looks more like a short-term play, and I feel like I might have jumped into it if I would have had the money to get into it early, but I didn't. And now that it's gone up so much, it's just like I'm not as interested. You know, PACB has been running for a year, you know what I mean, even though it's a more expensive stock, and I think that has a lot to do with it too. A lot of people like these cheaper stocks. They want them to, because they want them to be able to run up to 30. You know what I mean? And I understand that. I was like that. I used to be like that, and I'm still like that to a certain extent. Like, I think it has to do with the size of your account and the, you know, like the level that you're at. Like, you level up at a certain point, you like more expensive stocks because you have the money to buy some of them. You know what I mean? And a lot of people who are building their account like to buy these cheaper stocks, and I understand that. I used to do the same thing. Okay, but I got really beat up a few times in some penny stocks doing these plays like this on these hype companies. And it took me a long time to build my account back up from that. And I feel like that taught me some lessons about investing in these cheap stocks. You know, they're more or less penny stocks, even when they're on these tears. You know what I mean? They scare me. I mostly stay away from them. And that's just the way it is. You're not going to see me pumping all these hype penny stocks and stuff like that on this channel. All right. It's just because maybe they do really great, but I'm not trying to get you guys beat up. I may make a little play here or there in something, but I'm not trying to, because I know no matter how many times I say I'm not a financial advisor, you know, once you get, you know, I know I'm still a really small channel, but the people that are watching these YouTube channels, a lot of times they just jump right in and get themselves beat up. And I'm not trying to do that to you guys. So just, you know, understand that. But it is on my watch list, and I am waiting to see if they get that FDA approval. But I think that PACB is a much more safe, more sure thing type of play, even though you're not going to get 1,000% gains on it. You may get, but you know what I mean. What else have I added? Bloom Energy I added. I think that they are also in a good position to take advantage of the Biden plan and stuff. I don't know if I will make a position in that company or not. Ticker symbol's BE. It's just something that I've added to my watch list, which is what most of this is, okay? And that's the last one I'm going to talk about, okay? I just wanted to kind of talk about what my thoughts are right now, what I'm thinking as far as my strategy goes. You know, my brain's telling me things, my instincts are telling me things, and I'm trying to get into a position to look for some potential red, to buy into some stuff. And I'm also being a little apprehensive about the market right now, and I would like to just protect myself and try to position myself as best as I can to take advantage of the things that I do think are going to do really well over this next year. So I believe that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, mash on it, like the video. Let me know your thoughts about what I'm talking about in this video, and help support the channel going forward. Thanks for watching.